Good afternoon, Dunkirk and Fredonia listeners, and welcome back to News at Noon. I'm News Director Cascio Fonseca here today with news assistants Lee Pye and Joshua Ribakove, and in this top-of-the-hour update, we'll bring you the latest on news and events around SUNY Fredonia's campus and community, as well as the latest in national news and weather. First up, we'll bring it to Lee for our latest Wednesday campus news updates.
Good afternoon, everyone, and here is your campus news. Two senior biology students, Madison Miller and Logan Wilson, were honored at the Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence ceremony at the Albany Capitol Center last week, Monday. This annual award is considered the highest honor the university can reward a student. To win this award, these students need to exceed expectations with diversity in activities and involvement on campus. Both Miller and Wilson are involved in Beta Beta Beta, the National Honor Society in Biological Sciences, and will be awarded Bachelor's of Science degrees in biology at the SUNY Fredonia's commencement. Speaking of SUNY Fredonia's commencement, two honorable alumni will be keynote speakers at graduation, which will be Honorable James A.W. McLeod and Honorable Lynn Bonaruda. Judge McLeod started his legal career by being hired as an associate attorney with a major law firm and was second African-American attorney in Buffalo history. Judge McLeod became the first and only African-American attorney to be the head of Buffalo Erie County Legal Aid Bureau's Public Defender Office, and the first and only African-American to serve as Erie County Second Assistant County Attorney. He was elected to the bench in 1999 and retired in 2019. Currently, he is treasurer and trustee of the Western New York Foundation and trustee of Medaville University. Mayor Ruda is the first female and youngest mayor of the village of Lancaster, New York, and is also the director of economic development. She is a chairperson of the Grants Committee, chairperson of the Climate Start Committee, volunteer firefighter for the village for over a decade, and music teacher at Lancaster High School. Judge McLeod and Mayor Ruda will speak at the commencement on May 20th in Steel Hall Arena. Judge McLeod will speak at the 10 a.m. ceremony, and Mayor Ruda will speak at the 3 p.m. ceremony. Since you are listening to the radio show, chances are you'll be listening at the same time this Friday during our legacy show, High Noon Friday, when our biannual Radiothon starts. Radiothon is a SUNY Fredonia's 24-hour live radio extravaganza, where each hour is a different show with different students. The Radiothon will end at noon on Saturday, followed by the Big Cheeseburger Challenge. If you don't know what that is, come find out by listening to WCVF 88.9 FM, the voice of Fredonia.
Thanks, Lee. Next up, we'll have local news. And in local news for today, Fredonia has approved a comprehensive study of its water issues that will consider doing business with the town of Dunkirk. The Village Board of Trustees approved the study by a 3-2 vote Monday night. Voting in favor were Republican trustees David Byrd, John Esperson, and Nicole Syracuse. The no votes came from Democratic trustees James Linden and Michelle Twitchell. The village's engineer of record, Labella and Associates, will conduct the study and a cost-benefit analysis of water options. The cost is supposed to not exceed $144,000. Fredonia will use American Rescue Plan Act funding to pay for it, as suggested by Mayor Douglas Essick. That's minus any contributions made from other local facilities, as the resolution to pass the study puts it. Dunkirk Mayor Wilfred Rosas has offered city funding for up to 20% of the study if it considers Dunkirk as a water source. Essick virtually demanded Monday that trustees get moving on the study so the village can get all the information it needs on its water infrastructure. Noting that the issue has been heavily debated before, Essick pressed trustees to stop talking about the study and approve it. Linden and Twitchell, however, read statements expressing opposition to the study. Linden said a 2016 study determined that Fredonia should continue its water system, but boost connections with neighboring districts in case of emergency. The village has in recent years made vast improvements to its water system, including the rebuilding and upgrading of the plant, purification equipment, maintenance, and upgrades to the water storage tank, and the complete rebuild and upgrade to the Vineyard Drive pump station, some water main replacements and contracts for emergency, and as needed use of additional connections with the North Chautauqua County Water District. It is unwarranted that Dunkirk and the NCWD that supplies water to it would want to supply Fredonia's water, he added. Nowhere in this study do I see where it says we agree to buy water from anybody, Esperson said in response to Linden's statement. I want the professionals to tell me what we should do based on a current study on our current infrastructure. Esperson added that with outside funding sources available, a comprehensive study would cost Fredonia less than a study that doesn't look at outside options. Not getting a comprehensive study and just ignoring that there are multiple factors at play is an incredible disservice to our residents, Syracuse said. You're just sticking your head in the sand and saying, this is what we've always done, this is what we should continue to do. Twitchell then read her statement opposing Labella's proposed study. As it is written, this is far from comprehensive and allows for little updated understanding of the various factors at play, she said. The proposed study should include a clear pathway to future improvements and maintenance, she continued. The study will not properly look at the cost to the village for closing down its water plant and reservoir. Intangible qualities of maintaining Fredonia's water autonomy include security for village residents, as well as redundancy for residents of the city and district, Twitchell said. She later added, I've spoken with some constituents who appeared to favor shutting down Fredonia's valuable governance. I suspect they also favor additional measures by other entities to restrict the village's self-determination. We can all agree that once we lose Fredonia's privilege of water system management, we will never get it back. That's all for local news today, and in national news, we bring it to Josh.
In an update to Monday's story on the suspected Texas shooter, Francisco Oropesa was arrested yesterday, closing the 4-day manhunt. His wife, Divimara Lamar Nava, age 53, is believed to have hidden him in the home near Conroe where he was arrested. He was found hiding in a closet under a pile of laundry in a house. Oropesa had reportedly been spotted Monday afternoon in Montgomery County, which caused a number of schools to enter lockdown. Tim Keene, chief deputy of the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office, says that he received an anonymous tip, but he claims, quote, we did confirm that that was him on foot, running, but we lost track of him. That was not a false alarm. That was him, end quote. According to online jail records, Lamar Nava was arrested this morning for the felony charge of hindering the apprehension or prosecution of a known felon. Today, Oropesa is expected to appear before a judge of the San Jacinto County Jail, and Tim Keene says his bond will formally be set at $5 million. Yesterday afternoon, Elon Musk threatened to transfer NPR's Twitter account to another person or organization. In a series of emails with an NPR reporter, he said, quote, so is NPR going to start posting on Twitter again, or should we reassign at NPR to another company, end quote. This comes after NPR effectively quit Twitter a few weeks ago after they had been falsely labeled as state-affiliated media. After reaching out to NPR and admitting that he was wrong, he changed the label to government-funded media, a label that is misleading for the private, nonprofit organization that is National Public Radio. NPR receives less than 1% of its $300 million budget annually from the federally funded Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Musk has since removed the labels, but other media companies have also joined NPR on the Twitter boycott, namely PBS and the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. Although Musk has removed the labels altogether, NPR and others are still not posting to the social media platform. On Twitter's terms of service, account inactivity is determined upon logging in, not tweeting. Musk replied to the reporter, quote, our policy is to recycle handles that are definitively dormant, Musk wrote in another email. Same policy applies to all accounts. No special treatment for NPR, end quote. Meal debt has skyrocketed at schools across the nation after ending universal free meals. Throughout the pandemic, schools had been feeding students free of charge as families struggled financially throughout. And although most schools will still feed children who don't have money to pay for food, that money becomes meal debt that the school tries to collect from the student's family throughout the school year. This year, meal debt has been reaching record-breaking levels, and a survey from the School Nutrition Association claims that school districts have more than $19 million in unpaid meal debt, with the most affected districts being those in the Midwest and Great Plains regions. A handful of states have passed legislation mandating free meals for students, and for states without such legislation, the solution has been free or reduced price for financially challenged families. But according to Katie Gegg, the director of School Food and Nutrition Services for a school district in Melville, Missouri, The application to apply for free or reduced price meals can be confusing, especially for families who don't speak English as a first language. She says that in her school district, the number of students who qualify for free and reduced price meals has dropped from 30% to 26%. And according to Crystal Fitzsimmons, a director for the Food Research and Action Center, rising wages could have made some families previously eligible for free meal programs to no longer be eligible. A family of 4 must make under $36,000 this year to be eligible for free meals. And Fitzsimmons says that although the USDA adjusts that number for inflation, food and housing prices are increasing. That does it for today's national news. Back to you, Cascio.
Thanks, Josh. Finally, we'll take it back to Lee for today's weather forecast.
The Northern Chautauqua Weather Update, being brought to you by Fredonia Radio Systems.
It's a very gray day today, unless you like that. Today, the temperature is 43 degrees Fahrenheit. It feels like 39 degrees. The high is 47 degrees, and the low is 43 degrees. There's a 40% chance of rain today, and will clear up for about an hour between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Tomorrow will be 52 degrees with a tiny amount of rain and a cloudy day with a tiny amount of sun. That's all for your weather report. Back to you, Cascio.
Thank you, Lee and Josh. That'll wrap it up for this Wednesday's edition of News at Noon. Local news for this broadcast was prepared and read by Cascio Fonseca. National news was prepared and read by Joshua Ribakove, while campus news and weather were prepared and read by Lee Pye. Board operations for this broadcast were performed by Alex Erwin. Join us for more top of the hour news on High Noon Friday, and until then, take care.